A Harris County Precinct 1 deputy remains in the hospital here at noon following a shootout in downtown Houston Monday. And the man accused of shooting her has been identified. Deputy Sheila Jones was shot in the back just after noon yesterday. She was called to the area after reports of a man with a weapon walking down the street toward the Family Law Center. That was when several deputies ran toward him. The suspect then shot Jones, we're told. Law enforcement officers returned fire, hitting the suspect several times. DA Sean Tier is crediting Deputy Sheila Jones with likely preventing a mass casualty event. We now know the suspect is 34-year-old Parnell Bland. He faces charges of aggravated assault against a public servant and felon in possession of a weapon. He had actually just bonded out of jail on a trespassing charge last week and has multiple felony convictions. He is expected to survive.
Today our prayers were answered, and I can't thank the public for the amount of prayers that have rolled in since this incident happened today. So I want to first by saying thank you to the public for their thoughts, prayers, because they were answered. Deputy Sheila Jones, who's a 30-plus year law enforcement veteran, was shot, and thankfully she had a bulletproof vest on, which saved her from any internal injuries. This was a disturbance, a weapons disturbance, right in our courthouse complex, where we have people that transact business and work every single day. And this could have really been a very bad situation. So law enforcement does what it does, and that means that we neutralize the threat very quickly. And the actual shooter was shot multiple times and is being treated at Memorial Hermann Hospital. Sheila Jones has been with our office and was a former Harris County Sheriff's Office major. She's in good spirits. She's being tended to by the best doctors in the country, and we're thankful for them. I'm also extremely thankful to our law enforcement partners that responded so quickly. You know, in law enforcement, it really is a family, and today was a true testament of that. Multiple agencies arrived on the scene when the shooting took place, and everybody responded very well, in sync with one another. Our district attorney has been not only at the hospital, was at the scene. I'm thankful for you, District Attorney Sean Tier, and all of our other law enforcement partners that have been here. This was a very bad situation. This is the second active shooter case. There was one at Florida State University just a couple of days ago. So we're seeing more and more of this, unfortunately, but law enforcement did its job. The individual's going to be, our suspect's going to be charged with aggravated assault on a peace officer. It's a felony. And, you know, I'm just happy to take your questions at this time.
Can you walk us through what first alerted the deputies to this man, and what was he doing?
We got a call that there was a weapons disturbance, so somebody was displaying a firearm. Our suspect had two firearms. He had a 9mm and a 25 caliber pistol on him. And we first got it as a weapons disturbance, and of course multiple officers responded to a weapons disturbance call. And once we got in the vicinity, he ran from us initially, and then of course turned around and took a shot at one of our officers. And they of course returned fire. And you know, this is in a very crowded area of our downtown courthouse complex. Millions of people go there yearly. And this was right in front of the law library, so people are going there to do legal research all the time. That's what took place. Again, the suspect was shot multiple times.
Constable Rosen, can you tell us, did the suspect was, at the time that the officers went up to apprehend him, had he been waving the gun around, he'd been threatening people? What had he been doing, as well as you know?
He was displaying a firearm. So, I mean, he had the gun out, they could see it. And of course, they're giving him verbal commands to drop the weapon. And as soon as somebody's bringing a weapon up or anything, not complying with our commands, there's a problem. And so, of course, he took a shot and they returned fire.
So again, that initial call was just for him having the weapon?
It's a weapons disturbance. So that means that there is something going on that is involving a weapon. It could be a firearm, it could be a bat, it could be any number of things. So it gets dropped as a weapons disturbance. And that's what this was dropped as. So people had seen him with a firearm and that he had a firearm, and of course was not complying with our commands.
Is there any indication of why he showed up at all today? Was he going somewhere?
It's very early in the investigation, so I can't say. We're just in the process of kind of finding out. He's got to get stabilized before we can interview him. Houston Police is also, their homicide division is coming out to interview him, but we don't know. He may have experienced some mental health crisis in the past. It could contribute to what's going on today, but it's unsure. It's too early to tell.
You know who he is.
I do know who he is, but we haven't processed him. We haven't interviewed him. We haven't gone through the necessary investigative steps. So I don't want to release his name at the moment. The district attorney, when the charges are filed against him, will share that information publicly, and I'll let his office manage that aspect of it.
Can you tell us if the suspect is being interviewed as we speak in the hospital?
He's going to be interviewed. I don't know if he's being interviewed right as we speak, but he will be thoroughly interviewed. First thing he's got to do is get triaged for medical injuries. He was shot multiple times.
As for your deputy constable, was she shot one time or more?
One time.
One time?
One time.
Can you tell us the area?
It was kind of in this generalized, I believe it's the left side, where the bullet actually came in contact with her bulletproof vest. She felt heat there, and thought she had been shot. And so, thankfully we did everything we could, and the first responders that responded did everything they could to ensure she got medical treatment right away.
And her fellow deputy constables that were with her, any of them injured in any way in this whole thing?
No, thank God. And again, anybody that's willing to shoot at a police officer is willing to certainly shoot at a citizen. So, I mean, these individuals were all in uniform. They all presented themselves, obviously, as police officers, and were giving verbal commands to the suspect. And this is what we do every day. This is the job that we signed up for. And thankfully, the public was safe after we neutralized the threat. And I just can't thank our law enforcement partners enough. I can't thank the DA enough. Everybody, our firefighters, everybody did an exceptional job of ensuring a bad situation turned out the way that it did.
Constable, is that standard that all the deputy constables wear the bulletproof vest with the uniform?
It is. It's a policy. If you're in a police uniform, although I was testifying at the Capitol in Austin today, so I'm not wearing one, but it is policy that officers are required to wear a bulletproof vest when they're in service and working.
I think one initial report said she was shot in the back, so I want to be clear. She said it was in the front.
I just spoke to her, and she said that it came over on the side, and she felt some heat, and wasn't sure if she had been shot or not. She said she felt pain on that side, and that's what was supposed to be.
Constable, do we know how many shots were fired?
I don't yet. It's too early in the investigation. The crime scene's being processed, and again, we're going to work with our DA and make sure that he gets properly charged. But of course, he's got to get stabilized first before we can go in and have homicide talk to him about what he was thinking and what he was doing. So it's premature for any of us to discuss any of the particulars about that.
And how many law enforcement officers were involved?
There's a total of 4 out of our office and 1 from the sheriff's office.
And we're not sure how many shots they fired?
No, not at the moment. Again, the scene is still being processed, and we want to do it thoroughly. We want to do it meticulously, and ensure that we get it right. That's most important.
At least one law enforcement officer fired.
Oh no, there's more, but we don't know yet. So there were multiple shots.
I know our investigators going inside buildings. I think we saw one go through glass.
A bullet did pierce a building. So of course, we're going to do everything we can to ensure that the scene is secure, that the public is safe. We're going to do what our job requires us to do. So we would have certainly gone into buildings to ensure there wasn't any other suspects, there wasn't any other, anybody else connected to the shooter, and that's standard protocol.
Alan, we know this woman is beloved by law enforcement,
She is.
her own family. You were upstairs in the room with her.
I was.
Just now.
Yes.
Can you tell us who was there? Were her children there?
Her children, they come from a law enforcement family. Her son is with the sheriff's office. He's a deputy. I spoke to the family while I was traveling back. Everybody has been in good spirits and has had positive thoughts. And of course, I have our chaplain here who said some prayers in and around her bed. And it was a very warm, loving environment inside that hospital. She is beloved, and we're just so thankful that she's doing well, and she's recovering, and she's in good spirits. That was the best news I got on the way home.
Expected to be released tonight?
I don't want to say when she's going to be released because I'm not sure. I hadn't spoken to her doctor, but I'm just so thankful. Anytime, it's the worst call I can get as a police administrator is one of your officers had been shot. And it's the worst. It's my nightmare. And so I'm just thankful that she's okay. She wasn't more seriously injured. That bulletproof vest obviously is the technology to thank. And we're just really happy. It's a good day for the way this worked out. And the suspect being shot. Yeah, anytime a human being is shot, it's not a good thing, and that's the last thing law enforcement wants to do is engage somebody where they have to shoot them. It's the worst day for that officer, let me assure you.
And you said no internal injuries?
No internal injuries.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
The suspect, is he expected to survive?
Yes, he is, but there's going to be a lot of surgery he's going to have to go through. Yeah.
Now, can you give us just a more clear idea what her job was?
Sure.
With your department.
She's actually assigned to the downtown courthouse complex, which is responsible for the safety and security of anybody that works and transacts business at the courthouse complex. So she's actually specifically to the law library and that whole 1019 Congress building. And she is a career law enforcement person. We love her. She's part of our law enforcement family. And I was actually shocked. And some of the officers that were involved, one of them's about to retire. So imagine that. You're at the end of your career and you get involved in a situation like this. So she just does a great job. She's a people person. She cares about the job that she does. She cares about protecting the public, which is why she was where she was, is responding to that call of a weapons disturbance, and she did it very, very well. I'm going to give our DA an opportunity to talk about maybe any of the charges or anything else. Sean, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you, brother.
I just want to echo Constable Rosen's sentiments about Deputy Jones. I have known her for most of my career. When she was a major and a captain in District 5 working traffic, I've made countless crash scenes with her. She's a staple, and it was no different today in the hospital. She is in great spirits, and just thank God she's okay. It really is a courthouse family, and her son is a bailiff in one of our district courts. I know the entire family, so this one was really close to home, and watching what I've seen so far from the investigation, she did what she always does. She runs toward the danger when others run away. She is the consummate hero. She saw a situation that could have been catastrophic. He was armed with multiple firearms, displaying them, and obviously willing to shoot. And because of her, we don't have a mass casualty event because of her. So she's a hero. She should be celebrated as such. So far, we have accepted aggravated assault on a peace officer for one individual. Deputy Jones is the complainant. As we go forward, and Constable Rosen talked about the length of investigation we're going to have to do on this scene. We're going to have to chart the weapons. We're going to have to do a lot of trajectory, but I anticipate filing additional aggravated assault of peace officers on this individual for every person that he put in danger in that vein. We've also accepted tentatively felon in possession of a firearm twice. The reason that we're not releasing his identification is because we're getting him stabilized. Then we're going to positively identify him, whereby we'll begin the process of filing the felon in possession of a firearm on him as well, because we want to make sure that the information and the person that we believe we have is that person. And if that's the case, then those charges will be added on as well. Each of the aggravated assault of peace officers carries up to life in prison. It's a first-degree felony. And the felon in possession of firearms will be second-degree felonies because he's a felon and brandishing the weapons outside as opposed to just possessing them in a car. So we're gonna file whatever charges are appropriate and we can, and we're gonna continue to do so on an ongoing basis as the investigation proceeds.
And at this moment, he's charged with not simply, but solely with aggravated assault on a peace officer.
That's right. And those are, the way the process works is that we accept the charge. That places him in the process of being detained and having the charges actually filed. Because he is at the hospital as opposed to the Joint Processing Center, it's a slower process for us to get the documentation, to get what we call a mobile AFIS, fingerprinting to positively identify him. All of those things are slower. It's called blind booking. But we anticipate that in the next 24 hours, having the charging documents for, at the minimum, that one case filed. But he is currently in custody and will remain in custody.
Can either of you clarify when something changes from an open constitutional carry situation to a weapons complaint? We've got
Sure.
some readers that have asked.
Yeah, no,
Go first.
So, in the constitutional carry realm that we live in, you are allowed to have a firearm in plain view, holstered. You are not allowed to take it out and brandish it. That becomes a weapons disturbance, and at no point, if you are a convicted felon, are you allowed to possess a firearm in the public. After a certain number of years, you can have a firearm at your home. That's not the case here, both time and location. And in no circumstance are you allowed to brandish a weapon. And that's what triggers, and obviously the constable will get in more detail, that's what triggers a weapons disturbance to show up and have the heroes do what they did today.
You said that beautifully.
Perfect.
Perfectly put. Yeah, this he had 6 prior felonies, so he should not be having a firearm at all in his possession. And
Was he recently in court?
I'm not sure. I think there was some recent activity involving him. I know both with my office and with the criminal justice system. So both of those, there has been some recent activity with him. Sure has. I also all the law enforcement agencies that reached out to me today, that contacted me, thank you. We have people from Galveston County, all the constable's office, sheriff's office, Houston Police Department. I can't thank them enough. That's what a law enforcement family is about. The DA being here, and I'm just so pleased with the way this turned out, that she's okay, and she's going to be back at work sometime very soon. So, any other questions?
She's an Army vet, correct?
Yes. A mean Army vet. She's tough. She's tough as nails, I'm going to tell you. She really is.
Thank you, Constable.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you,
y'all.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.